Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Victor Conte versus Angel Heredia. That's the real fight that's coming up when Caleb Plant takes on David Benavidez. Now, Caleb Plant has been a supporter of Victor Conte and the snack products that he has. And David Benavidez, not really sure what he was doing before now, because before this fight with Caleb Plant was made, I'm not sure who was in David Benavidez's corner as a strength and conditioning coach or as his nutritionist. But we know for this fight with Caleb Plant, for some reason, they went out and brought in Angel Heredia. Now, I kind of talked about that a little bit in the video, but somebody pointed out, well, look, nobody's talking about Caleb Plant. Nobody's talking about Devin Haney. And those guys having Victor Conte over there and using his products. Because we know Victor Conte was the master when it comes to PED usage and masking PED usage and getting athletes different steroids and different illegal drugs to use to improve their performance, right, in sports. And that had been going on for years. And then, he was up facing, I think, like 30-something years. He ended up doing 4 months. But then you look at Heredia was the apprentice. Heredia got his butt zapped too for the same thing. Now you take a look at the fact that you have Plant and Benavidez going into a fight. And both of them have these guys who wearing the titles as strength and conditioning coaches or nutritionists or whatever in their corners. So my thing is this. What are we really going to see when Plant and Benavidez get in the ring? That's what I'm saying. Now, a lot of people were talking about Caleb Plant and how he came and knocked out Darrell. Now, my understanding is Caleb Plant is truly left-handed. That was an observation I made after there was a video. I can't remember who the hell was talking about it, but it wasn't a YouTuber talking about it. It was, I don't know if it was Antonio Tarver or I can't remember who was talking about it. But when they said it, it got my attention because even I was like, damn, he hits hard. He hit like Caleb Plant, Mr. 13 KOs. He hits that hard. He's sitting down on his punches now. And I guess when you sit down on your punches, it can make a difference if you haven't been doing that, right? Like Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury started sitting down on his punches after he hooked up with the guys over in the Kronk gym, right? And they made him to a knockout artist, right? Right. Jamel Charlo. He went over there to Derek James. Jamel Charlo wasn't known as being a knockout artist. Get over there with Derek James. Now Jamel Charlo starts sitting down on his punches. And then all of a sudden, he's a knockout artist, right? It doesn't mean somebody's cheating, does it? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anybody. There's foul play there. But if Tyson Fury can become a knockout artist, if Jamel Charlo can become a knockout artist, Caleb Plant becoming a knockout artist, hey, maybe the PEDs have nothing to do with it. Maybe we have nothing to worry about going into this fight. Now, we're talking about Devin Haney. He's not a knockout artist. They talk about that stamina. But I will say this, right? And then also with Manuel Marquez and Heredia. He was already, knocking people out and not boxing people, but a one-punch knockout artist, hey, maybe he sat down on his punches, right? But I will say this, when it comes to Victor Conte and snack and kind of like what he specializes in, right? We know it's all about recovery and the mitochondria cells and having those, replaced with new cells through this thing that they do. It's called intermittent hypoxic training, right? It simulates an effort at a high altitude and recovery in a hyperoxygenated air. So what it does is it gives those guys more stamina. and helps to recover faster. Now, that's what Victor Conte's been doing. Now, he says that he's clean. He says he'll never do anything foul to put him back in jail. Like, everything he's doing, he's straight. I think he pays like $25,000 a month to rent out this warehouse out there in Cali where he has Snack, or Snack is headquartered. But he makes $1 million a month in the sale of his supplements. So Conte's doing all right. But with Heredia, don't really know much about him. But we do know that Heredia was helping out your Danish Yugas. Heredia has been in several boxers' camps. We just don't hear about it. But what I'm telling you is, these guys, they still have a footprint in the boxing world. And they're helping fighters. And the fighters they're associated with, their fighters, for the most part, they win. And you know what? I'm going to go out here and say this. I don't have any reason to believe that these guys will be involved with foul play today, okay? No reason to believe it. But when you have the brain that they have, and they understand biology, they understand science, you see, both of those guys could easily have owned and operated a pharmaceutical company. Like, they have those kind of minds. Very brilliant people. But I'd have to wonder, after listening to that fool on Conor Ben's team, that nutritionist / sport, strength and conditioning / whatever else title you want to give him, when that guy came out and said, it's so easy to cheat and get away with it. There's so many different drugs you can take that can mask the PEDs to throw the test off. There's so many drugs you can take that'll be out of your system by the time you wake up. And when the testers come there to take your blood sample or urine sample, I said, damn. And he was saying that laughing while he was talking. That was quite disturbing. But if a guy like that will go on record, and I'm going to say he's credentialed, right? He was a nutritionist. So I'm going to say that maybe Conte and Heredia, maybe I'll say those guys are even more knowledgeable than this wacko jacko who was in the Conor Ben camp and in the Tyson Fury camp as well. He was, Tyson Fury's nutritionist. So, I just want to throw that out there. But if he'll go on record and say that, and these other guys are way more advanced and understand just how to pair up different supplements and different drugs to really help the body reach a beyond optimal level. If that guy knew how to do it, you can't tell me that Conte and Heredia don't know how to do it. And, I don't care what no one says. I understand that Marquez, hey, look, he was handling Pacquiao in a lot of those fights. A lot of people felt he won all those fights. That first fight in particular, I think Marquez won that fight. He got banged up hard in the first round, but I was like, damn, boy, the Filipino was going to kill him. But he came back. In my opinion, he won every round after that. I remember watching that thinking that this is what you call picture-perfect boxing. Like, it was just amazing to watch him fight. But anyway, after that fourth fight, and him not wanting to take the fifth, went through the comments. That's why I love having the conversation with y'all. Once it's respectful, I'm there. If it's not respectful, I probably won't respond to you. We don't need to act our shoe size on here, okay? And someone pointed out that why would Marquez take the fifth fight? And they said basically he just evened the score with Pacquiao if he was cheating, because Pacquiao cheated those first three fights. And I was like, whoa, where did that come from? And then I had forgot that Alex Ariza was over there with Pacquiao. Remember, Pacquiao was knocking everybody out. Pacquiao was hitting people, man. Pacquiao was tearing people out the frame. And then when Ariza kind of disappeared, right? The little fallout over there, because he thought he was more than the damn nutritionist and strength and conditioning coach. He thought he was the damn trainer. Him and Freddie Roach was bumping heads. You got rid of him. All of a sudden, Pacquiao, those knockouts, those vicious one-punch knockouts, those Ricky Hattons, that kind of went out the window, didn't it? But he was still ferocious, still had great stamina. But all I'm getting at is, when it comes to these fighters, when it comes to Caleb Plant, Benavidez, when you look at like the fact that Yugas had and Yugas' performance and his stamina, having Heredia in his corner, you look at Devin Haney and the way he's performed with his outstanding stamina, having a guy like Conte in his corner, just knowing how Caleb Plant came and knocked Darrell out, that was out of nowhere. I'm just saying, maybe it's because they're sitting out on their punches. David Benavidez, guys who have sparred him, the word exactly used to describe fighting David Benavidez was, he said, he's cracking. He said he hits hard. And it was a guy who was friends with Caleb Plant. They've been sparring partners, but they have a personal relationship. And he said, if Caleb Plant can box, he'll win by decision. He said, but if he stays in there too long, he said it's a 50-50 fight. But the way he said it was like he didn't want to say he think his boy's going to lose. He was trying to say it in a way to make it seem like it's a level playing field. But you could tell that he's like, he feels Caleb Plant is in an uphill fight going in there against David Benavidez. But my thing is this. If David Benavidez is cracking like this guy said, right? If he hits that hard, like Tyson, the Mexican monster, if he's such a Mexican monster, and he brings this guy Heredia onto his team, and Heredia can do, because look, this is something else to pay attention to. We know what Marquez. I briefly talked about this in another video. We talk about the physique. Marquez was never no guy with no striations and all of this right here and stomach ripped up and all that. He was never that guy. He got with Heredia. Marquez looked like the Latin lover, didn't he? The man was ripped, shredded up. This man was ready to get out there, man, on the beach. This man ready to be speedoed down on the beach. Vaseline on him. Where did that body come from? You know what I'm saying? I watched that. I said, damn, I need to get my ass back out here and put in some road work. Now, what I'm going to be watching for is if Heredia turns Benavidez's body into that, we got a problem here. Because Benavidez has always been fat, always looked soft. And the way Caleb Plant described him and said he has, two, bitty bitties. I don't want to sit here and talk like that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't my style. But, talking about his chest. Saying he's soft in the chest. And if he can make him, Benavidez, look shredded, look like the Latin lover, look like he belongs on the beach, speeded up, baby all down, have a permanent girlfriend, wife on the side type deal, then something's going on. That's all I'm saying. And if it's legit, hey, put that supplemental strategy out to the world. How you can take a guy who's straight marshmallows and mashed potatoes and turn him into muscle. That's all I'm saying. He goes from marshmallows and mashed potato to muscles and macho. That's all I'm saying. What the hell are you giving him? Same thing you gave Marquez? Well, put that out to the public. We all want to know. Men and women want to know. It's not just a thing for us men. Some of the ladies want to know. The honeys want to know too. They want to look good. But if you can't put that out to the world, something foul. But Conte, he kind of got his stuff done pretty, packaged up pretty good. This man's out here talking about the hyperoxic chambers and stamina and the mitochondria replacement and all kind of little biological terms and confusing ass terminology, man. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I truly think it's what it's going to boil down to. Now, I will say this. With all the joking aside, right? Caleb Plant kept his dad in his corner, which is outstanding. They brought in another trainer to help out. That's something Teofimo Lopez needs to do. Keep your dad. Bring back Joey Gamache. But what we're seeing is that could make a big difference because this trainer is a good trainer. And he knows, you listen to him talk, he knows Benavidez is a problem. My thing is, can he devise the right strategy? Because Caleb Plant, I think he learned from his fight with Canelo. But David Benavidez also, I thought Lemieux was going to knock Benavidez out. I picked Lemieux, I'm going to tell you. I was wrong. Because I said Benavidez is going to stand there too long. And he's going to get hit with that big left hook. And Lemieux just couldn't pull the trigger. And Benavidez was tearing him up. So, that being said, let's see what happens if Benavidez can cut the ring off on Plant and let those shots go. Now, is Benavidez a one-punch knockout KO? I mean, he can hit you and stun you, buzz you, hurt you, but he's not a one-hitter quitter guy, hit you and knock you out cold. He's not that guy. Now, for those of you saying yes, he is, no, he's not. When he fought Jalen Love, his chin worse than Amir Khan's. But he got touched up and he got hurt. So we know that David Benavidez, he can hurt you. But if you can't one-hitter quitter Jalen Love, I don't see him being able to one-hitter quitter Caleb Plant. I just don't see it. But we got to wait and see. Now, if you ask me who I'm picking in that fight, that's another one of the 50-50s, man. If Caleb Plant, if he stands there too long, Benavidez is going to touch him. He's going to hurt him, and Benavidez can win. If Benavidez can't cut the ring off, he lets Plant, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, stop on the dime, fire off, throw that combination. Caleb Plant will throw his right hand, and I watch where he throws that combination, then bring the left jab right behind it. Or he'll throw the jab and right hand. It is almost like that the right hand comes on top of the left hand. It's a weird way he lets some of his punches go. I saw him doing that against Darrell. But what I'm getting at is if he can do those things against David Benavidez and have success, he could set David Benavidez up for a big shot that David Benavidez isn't going to see because he's going to be so frustrated and pissed off because he wants to put blood in the mouth of Plant, those are Benavidez words, that he could come in there and get caught with something he's not going to see because Caleb Plant is good at hiding his big shots. That's all I'm saying. So to me, who I'm picking, I don't know, man. What does Zab Judah say? The fans win? I think it's 50-50. But it's just a tough fight to call. But now that, I've come to the realization that both of them have guys in their corner who can put together an outstanding supplement strategy or even something that may not be necessarily legal, but knows how to get it in and out the system, before they're tested and before the fight. But that being said, let's hope that no foul play takes place. But I just think it's safe to say that anything's possible with these guys and when people want to win. And at the end of the day, we're just having a conversation. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents, in the breeze.